What's up, everybody? Metalhead Prime here, and this time I'm going to do a fish-related video that I probably promised weeks ago. I don't know. Why am I standing in front of Frankie's tank? Well, obviously, I don't know how well you can see it. She's getting cloudy, and it's probably because of the clams I'm feeding them that it's a dirt tank. It's got a Tidal 110 on it and a couple of sponge filters, and let's face it, there is just not a lot of flow in here. So, to improve on that, we have this little guy. This is, okay, Aqua Clear Aquatics Sump, and it even says unlimited warranty. And we'll see about that. It's still intact. So this actually came with this tank, which is the 90-gallon tank that Kelly Foreman gave us. And I probably should have hooked it up on that tank, but I didn't, which is fine. But that's perfect because it's going to aid this one. And the reason why I'm doing this is actually step 2 of what's proving to be a long, arduous task. I want all this substrate out of here. I should have listened when everybody said, no, don't put dirt substrate in with a Fahaka, you'll regret it. He's fine. He loves it, but my filtration doesn't like it. There is dirt everywhere. It's just the nastiest looking tank I have. It's just nasty. So basically the ultimate plan, the end game, is to get all of this out, which is a lot. It's going to take some time. Get all that out, and I want to put something a little bit brighter in, but not too crazy. I don't want to drown his color out, and then I want to get some better lighting on it, just to kind of help with him. He's getting kind of freaked out now, but he'll be all right. So, the question's been brought up to me on lives before. What's an easy way to make a sump work? Or, you know, basically what I'm going to do here, in a nutshell, is just making a skimmer out of it. It's not going to be... It's not going to be a main source of filtration. It's just going to be added filtration. One big thing that it should do, you can't really see it because I topped the water level off, but once I start filling this, you may actually see it because it'll drop. But there is like a ring of soil up here that just, you can net it out all you want. He will make sure there's more. So this should help catch some of that. At least that's the idea. We're going to use a sheet of, what is this, a polyfill, or I hate using polyfill, but it'll work. I think that's what this is. Anyway, yeah, polyfiber, same idea. We'll just cut a little square of that off, and we'll drop it right here in the rain box. Pop that down like that. Water will run through the bio balls and back out to the pump. Kind of helping, kind of. But I basically wanted to just show you, you can do this with stuff you have laying around. Remember these from another build? Yeah. So I kept that stuff. I have all sorts of things. This should get us our spout into here just fine. No problems there. My concern is hooking into this pump. I have one hose I'd like to use, but I don't think it's long enough. I have another hose that might be long enough. And then if all else fails, I have a section of old Python hose that I cut up for some reason. We'll make that work. So all in all, what we're going to do here today is just show you how easily you can do this. You don't need a skimmer box or all that stuff, although it's handy. You don't need it. You don't need to have a drilled tank. This one's not drilled. That one is, which is why I should have used it over here. And long story short, I didn't. But on my other 150, I've done pretty much the same thing, and it works great. So stick around. Let's get to it. Okay, so first task at hand, I'm going to just do the hard part, which is not even that hard. With this inlet here, I've got a piece of hose that came with yet another sump, which is on the other side, which came with this tank that was junk. but still had good parts. This hose, as far as I know, good part. If not that worried about it. I have more. But basically, that little guy slides on here, and then we need to have a way to come from our inlet out of the tank. So what I found was this little coupler for, I think this is 3/4 inch pipe. It just fits in there perfectly, sort of. A little bit of convincing, it'll go in, slap a clamp around it, we're fine. So now what I need to do is make an elbow that will basically go right over the top like so, and then we need it to 90 and come straight down. Now, the one thing I did with my other 150 that I can't do with this one because, well, I don't have one right now, is put a ball valve in the middle of this, which I can kind of regulate the sump on that one. We're just going to try it without it. I don't know how well that's going to work. Hopefully, I can regulate that pump. That pump still works. I tried it, and I felt wind blowing, so it's definitely doing something. And it felt pretty strong. I don't know gallons per hour. I don't know any identifying marks on it are gone. So I don't know. So what I need to do is just judge or measure. It's just easier to judge the distance I need to go from the inside rim on the back side of the tank down the side right here. I don't know how well we can see that. So basically what I'm going to do is snip this off and slap another 90 in it. And then I'm going to put a little piece, probably about that much longer, which will basically just act as a skimmer. Pretty much all it's going to do. So all of this can just go back down the basement. So now that I've measured, all right, we'll come out to right about here. Now there's a reason why I don't like these cutters, and I think I'm going to remember it very quickly. But if you turn them before you apply the final cut, usually you don't break the pipe. There we go. Not a perfectly straight cut, but it doesn't need to be. Now, we just do this. There we go. Step one's complete. Again, I don't know how well we can see that. So, now we got step two. So, I've got to factor in the length of this, because this is, you got to be mindful that this is sitting pretty much on the floor. There's maybe, I'm going to say 2 inches or 2.5 inches of lift. So I need this to basically reach up to this. But I want to make sure I have enough. I'd rather have too much than not enough. So again, we'll just try to give ourselves a little bit nicer of a cut right here. Try. I don't know how well it'll do it. All right, there she goes. Okay, that hurt. And what I want to do, ooh, my brain's turning, is basically just do this. We've got that one there, we've got that one there. I'm going to try not gluing this either. I'm sure it's probably a stupid idea, but it's not really holding pressure or anything like that. So I think there's other ones I've done in the past where I've never glued them. I have a whole section down there in the basement that I needed to make a quick sump out of a 10-gallon to help with the 75 down there when I had a bunch of soil floating around in it. And I just jammed some pipes together and they never leaked. So, at least on the suction side. All right, so what we've got now, let's see how long that's going to give us. I'll bet you that'll reach. I'll bet that'll reach just fine. So Now what I need to figure out is just how far down I want this little guy to go. Because one thing you got to keep in mind is that's going to be your water level, which is another reason why I should probably have a ball valve in it. Because what I don't want to have happen is it drop the water level down and keep it there. That's probably what's going to happen if I don't have something to regulate that. So I need to go back on the hunt for a little bit. Of all the crap I've got here, I've got to have a ball valve somewhere or something that'll work. So let me go see what I got and I'll come right back. Plus I need to grab a couple clamps anyway. So this, all right guys, welcome back. Day 2. Because it didn't happen the first day. If you remember, I was looking for a ball valve, which the only ones I had are the wrong size pipe, and I'm using 3/4, so there you go. All I had was 1/2 inch. Not going to work. So basically, I needed one of these little guys. So we're trying to keep it low budget. Super simple on everything that I had here. So really the only things I had to actually go out and purchase were this media and this little ball valve. I meant to do that. So a few of you had a question on ball valves. Why do you need that? So on and so forth. And I'll show you. Real simple. If you don't know, this is what a ball valve does, and hopefully you can see this. Little ball turns, and it'll actually restrict the flow so that basically you don't flood your sump and have water everywhere. So pretty much you don't really have to worry about that when you're doing what I'm doing, which is just a skimmer setup. But again, I do not have the specs on that pump. It feels pretty powerful when I plugged it in, but I don't know how many gallons an hour it does. I hope it's strong enough to lift water from, I don't know, 3 feet under it. I hope. I would assume it is, but we're going to find out. So basically the reason why I put this in line, which basically it's going to go right here. In fact, I could probably hopefully pull that off. Okay, good. This is why you don't glue anything until you're done. So we're going to just slap that little guy in there like so. There we are. This way I have access to it, because where I'm going to put it is right back here. I have a little bit of a gap. So it's going to sit in there like this. So that way if I need to adjust it, I can. And that's a horrible idea. And I'll explain why. So I literally can only turn it about that far. So this is why you test fit. So all I have to do is basically take another piece that I've already cut, put that here, or I can even cut a smaller piece, and then I can put it back here like this, maybe, and then I can get my hand in there and I have a little bit better movement on this ball valve, and then I can just do this, that, and then it's going to do this right into the sump. So I don't know how well we can see this. Move a few things. So basically, this is what we're going to have. Super simple. I'm going to clamp it here. I'll glue all this in once I'm happy with my position. This will be our feed in. And then we need to figure out our feed out, or outlet, whatever you want to call it. So now the reason I bought this, I'm actually going to cut it out and install it right here. So what this does is it's going to trickle, or basically turn into a rain box in this portion, run down through the bio balls, come back out, and I may even stick another chunk of this right here just to do some extra polishing for whatever that might miss. And then it'll chamber into here, go into our pump, and our pump also has a ball valve on it. So I can also, if that thing's crazy powerful, I can turn it down. So there is a happy medium between that ball valve and this one that you have to find. And really no other way to do it other than try it. You'll know when you've got it right, because on a lot of these sumps, they have water levels. Depending on the size, you want to go with wherever that sticker's at. Some of the larger ones, you'll notice the water level is set higher. But basically, they have it at a certain height because that's ample room for the water to actually go through the media and then spill away and all that. They did the math on it. It works if you keep your water level there. So I don't know all the ins and outs, but I'm saying go with that. So what I'll do, once I have it hooked up, fired up and running, I will adjust that valve to where it will keep a certain level here. And then I will adjust this valve to keep a certain level here. These two levels are going to be different. So don't freak out if this level's lower than this level. That's kind of what you want. So you want to find the happy medium to where the pump's not wide open and actually pulling water faster than it can get it. If that's the case, then you need to open the other ball valve on your inlet to allow more in. So there's some, you got to babysit it for a little while after you turn it on. You may find the happy spot right away. You may find it an hour from now. This one being this size, I doubt it's going to take that long. But we won't know until we try it. The other thing you want to do with used sumps, which I'm not going to do, I always ignore what I say. Test it. Make sure it holds water. Because this thing's been sitting a while. It's got a lot of, I don't want to call those cracks, but they're basically cracks, just fatigue. So that kind of worries me a little bit. I may actually just water test it, but nah, for the sake of the video, no. So wherever that piece just went, there we go. Now my thing is, I'm not sure which way that goes. I'm assuming probably like that. No, that wouldn't make too much sense. But I'm guessing that stuff would stay out of my way. There we go. I'm guessing it's going to ride like that. We put our media there. It'll create a little bit of a spillway, and basically what it's going to do is kind of cycle right down here, or maybe that way, and then the water is going to pour in. I don't even know if that goes to it. But like I said, I do have a couple more of these same brand sumps, and they work great once you get them dialed in. So what I'm going to use, hopefully, to return back into the tank, I have this nice little hose that I pulled off of one of the Fluval canisters that I have. It seems like it's almost the perfect diameter to fit right on the end of this spout, which would be awesome. And it does. So what I'll do is I'll put another clamp here. And if it reaches in there, which it should, I think it will, we'll just feed her right back in. And there we go. So another thing you want to be aware of, and I don't know if I've already covered this or not, probably not. It's been a couple days, I can't remember. But in case this doesn't work, I do have some old Python hose that I've cut for some reason that will work. And if that doesn't work, I was going to use this, but I can't get it to bend the way I want it to. So probably won't use that. But I'm thinking this line will actually work, which would be great because it has the clip that will hold it in place, and you can position this. She's a little stubborn, but you can position that in any direction you want. And I'm going to do things a little different. I'm actually going to put it pretty close to my my inlet. Not too close though, because what I don't want to have happen is this thing mess with the siphon, and it will. If it's too close, and if you run too low on water in your sump, it's going to start putting bubbles out, and this will be shooting it right back into your inlet. So basically you're going to drive yourself nuts trying to figure out why you keep getting bubbles, or you keep breaking your prime, or, you know, why am I having these problems? He did it and it's working just fine for him. So just make sure you pay attention just how close you put this to your inlet. I'm going to put it close, but I'm going to direct it the other way. So really it's not going to mess with each other, or theoretically it shouldn't. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to get some scissors. I'm going to cut a little square for here. We're going to cut a little patch for down there. And I'm going to go ahead and probably just glue everything up. I'm going to test fit that one more time while I'm thinking of it now to make sure that I'm happy with the direction that's in. Because if not, now's the time to change it. So we'll pull this out a little bit. And we're going to put it right there. And that's going to be a headache, but I can do it. I can deal with it. So, cool. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually shorten this up because I need a piece for here. So, get that going, and probably the only reason I'm doing this way is because I have plenty of hose for the other end, so I think we'll be okay. All right, now the other thing I wanted to kind of cover is be careful when you are in the hardware store getting PVC. There are different sizes. There is PVC, there's CPVC, there's PEX, there's all different sizes. If you go with 1/2 inch or 3/4 CPVC, then all of your fittings need to fit CPVC. Trust me. Because the CPVC is a thinner outside diameter than regular PVC. So 3/4 CPVC will not fit 3/4 PVC. That makes sense. Even though they're both 3/4, they won't work. They're too small. So just make sure you do yourself that favor. So if you're going to do a low budget setup like this, I'm using regular PVC. I'm not sure what schedule it is. It's the white stuff. Okay. But don't make the same mistake I've done. It'll suck. So, you know, I could even probably do this. Oh, I can. All right. So I could put this right in the corner. That air conditioner is really good. I can see my breath. Holy crap. That's crazy. All right. Anyways, I get amused easy. So what I'm going to do is I'll just hook it right up like that, where it's literally on the corner of the tank, which is perfectly fine because I'm going to try and aim that direction so it'll kind of swirl. You get caught up by that power head and blow it all right back into that, which would be awesome. So I want to shorten this up just a little bit. I guess I didn't need that much. We'll put her right about there. All right, so how much is actually going to be in the water? This much. Might want to move my finger. All right. Guess we got to take that out of there, huh? Okay, and if I seem like I'm going a little fast, it's because I am. My battery's about to die, and that phone's just been nonstop all day, so I'm trying to go into as much detail as I can for you, but I'm also trying to make sure I don't die on you. All right. This is what happens when the boss goes on vacation. My phone's nonstop. All right. I think we're getting somewhere now. Oh, come on. There. Just a regular, you can use a regular pipe cutter. You don't have to use this fancy click jobby thing. Because if you get off a little bit, it starts, I see myself breaking this. Doesn't really have to be a perfect cut anyways, just as long as it doesn't break. Oh, come on. All right, we're going in. Got it. Ooh, look at that, $50 shot. All right, so we're gonna just test fit one more time, make sure I'm happy with it, which I was pretty happy with it a minute ago. Yeah, I guess. I've gone a little too short, but that's okay because that one's about the same distance. That'll work. Okay. So we need to plumb that little guy. Like I said, I'm just gonna test fit for right now. I probably won't fire it up tonight. I just wanted to be able to kind of show you guys the ins and outs of it, because I got to wait on glue to dry and this and that, so probably not going to happen tonight. But I can still get hoses ran. Now the fun part is finding, there's a hole back here. Just got to find it. Super easy. Oop, found it. All right. There's so many jokes there. I'm going to just go ahead and leave them alone, though. All right. Okay. Now, let's see how far off I'm going to be down here. And, oh, dude. That is perfect. Freaking perfect. All right. I can already tell it's perfect because I have like super eyeball stats that I can see things most ordinary humans can't. Except for my microphone, I can't ever tell if that's on. All right, I'm gonna go grab a pair of scissors. We're gonna get cutting on that. We'll just set her down in there, and that's probably where the video is gonna wrap. I might as well go ahead and put that down there too. And we'll get to that in a minute. But let me get my squares cut here. I'll be right back. Ta-da! I found scissors. Unfortunately, they're the weird kind. But hey, should cut, right? So, yeah. Now, this tray does pull out, obviously, because that's how you get those in there. The tray does, but never mind. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, see, I'm a mechanic. You guys know this, right? So it just, sometimes it's hard to not be me when I'm not at work. So anywho, and way, what I'm going to do is just make a little snip, maybe, right there. And then I'm going to come to this side, make a little snip right there. And trying to do it as straight as possible. I'm going to fail. Completely. Already have. But we're just going to try and get her as close as possible. That way we don't miss a spot on the tray, because that kind of defeats the purpose of having this in there. But that's why I'm going to do a secondary one, in case it decides to miss completely. But this one, this one's not going to do it. This one's going to work. So there we go. We're just going to lay it in there like that. I do have a little bit of a gap right there, but not horribly worried about that. So we're going to set this back in. All right. Now, I guess we don't need that in there. Cat toy. That's what it'll wind up being before the night's over. Unless I actually remember to take that out. Now, what I can do here, I don't like to waste any of this stuff. I absolutely despise using polyfill because over time, well, poly just, it doesn't really, I don't want to say deteriorate, but it gets very brittle. Kind of weak. So, you know, if you try to do anything with it, it just kind of goes everywhere. Let's see what we got here. So, I'm probably going to have to cut it down anyways, which is fine. Yep. So what I'll do is I'll just go from this side, and I'll probably cut it right here next to my thumb. Hopefully not actually cutting my thumb or my finger in the process. But again, just want to try and make it as straight cut as possible. Probably not going to work, and it's already not. There we go. It's going to be good enough for the girls we date. I know, there's another Derekism I'm stealing. Sue me. No, don't. I can't take it this year. Sue me next year. All right, there we go. We're just going to lay it in there like that. And what that's going to do is kind of catch anything that may make it past this. Also, it's going to add some more breeding ground for bacteria. So we have this up here. Actually, what I could just go ahead and do, since it's stupid to have that piece, after I cut it, I realized I could put it in the title. Too late now. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. We'll just give her, I'll cover that patch up that I missed. There we go. Perfect. This might be a little overkill, but it's okay. The nice thing is, once I start shipping some fish, theoretically, all I'll have to do is just reach in here and grab a couple of these little chunks, and that'll be perfect for them. It's nice to ship them with some of this when you're shipping fish. Kind of, especially if it's a long journey. Obviously, if you're shipping them, it's not going to be a short journey. And what that does is kind of, in case they pee or poop in there, they're not drowning in their own filth. There we go. That'll work. Good enough. All right. Then there's this thing. I haven't quite figured out why it's like that. There's a thing there. Maybe it goes like this. Think I'm on to something. Look at that. That way it doesn't blow off. That was thinking, whoever did that. It's just going to piss me off when I try to open it, though. There we go. Or put it back in. All right. So now we have that. And this, don't worry about this. That can be like that. Okay, so don't freak out. Don't glue it. Somebody did. Don't do that. Either that or this was a saltwater filter at one point, which would explain a lot. So the right thing to do would be rinse it out. Not going to do that. Why? So what I need to do is determine one issue I think I'm going to have right off the bat. And yeah. Not going to make it. Okay. All right. Well, that sucks. I guess if I cleaned it, it might actually stick. Well, all right. So, as luck and fate would have it, again, we can't plug this in tonight. That surge protector is an utter nightmare to get to because, you know, tank, the genius that put it over there was really thinking that one out. But that surge protector has some open outlets. So what I'm going to do is hit up the hardware store tomorrow, buy a suitable extension cord, plug it in there, sneak her past all that, plug her in over there, then we'll fire this bad boy up. So, long story short, I guess this is going to be a two-parter. I was really trying to avoid it, but that's what it's going to be. So, in this one we covered kind of the ins and outs of how you want to rig it. I guess it works out anyways because I gotta glue that pipe yet, so I guess it works out. I'll get that done tonight and it'll be rocking and rolling by tomorrow. But I have my live tomorrow, so there's that. Probably Saturday. Anywho and way, what we'll cover in that one is firing this up. I'll show you how to get the right water level. I'll show you how to adjust the ball valve. I'll show you how to adjust this little guy. That way you can find your happy medium. I'll show you what I do, okay? It may work for you, it may not, but it's what I do. So I hope that I kind of covered the basis of everything. If there's any questions left that I didn't cover, which there probably could be, it would not surprise me in the slightest. Because, like I said, I was trying to do this fast because that's about to die. Anywho, if there's any other questions, go ahead, leave them in the comments. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. You know the whole spiel. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you like what you see, if you want to see more, blah, 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 blah. We all know. I would appreciate it, though. We're trying to get to that 500 mark, and we're close. We are very close. 60 away. There will be a giveaway at 500. Just saying. So, if you're not subscribed yet, and this just came across your feed, and you're like, this dude is an idiot, you're not wrong. But I give stuff away. So, there you have it. So, it pays to subscribe. Just see? Just saying. You know. Anyways, I'm going to shut up now. Part 2, we'll show this thing fired up and rocking and rolling. I will show you how to adjust it, or at least how I do it, and that way maybe it can help you. And then we're going to let this roll for a few weeks. I want to make sure that this thing's ready to go, and then we're going to start pulling substrate out of here. My biggest fear is crashing the tank, which I've done before, because I'm leaving him in it. I don't want to net him. I don't really have anywhere else to put him that he won't eat everything. So the best option I have is to leave him in here, but it's going to get really, really dirty. So I think what it's going to do is half the tank scooped out, let the water settle, make sure he's okay. Once I'm determined he's all right, let it run for a bit. Let this thing do what I want it to do, and that's hopefully suck up all the crap that I don't want going into the title. I might have to pull that sponge out and clean it. I might have to pull that one out and clean it. If I do, I do. No big deal. And then once I've got half the tank done, he's okay and happy. We'll shift to this side. We'll scoop all that out. Shells and everything are coming out. The rocks will go back in. The shells aren't really necessary to go back in because he'll get more. Does every day. So that'll be the next step. Then it'll be putting the new substrate in. And then ultimately new lighting. I don't know if I'll do a video on that or not. Maybe, maybe not. But there will be videos on doing this. And who knows, if it doesn't go as horribly wrong as I think it's going to go, I might just do one video and knock the whole thing out in maybe one shot. Who knows? But until then, we don't know. We'll see when we get there. So anyways, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget that like button. Feel free to share it. I don't care. Sharing's caring. And you know, the subscribe thing too, because that's cool too. You guys have a great week, weekend, whatever this is when you're watching it. And I'll catch you later.